Welcome back, everybody. Barry and Eric here, Moss Pond. We got yet another gun gripe for you. This week's gun gripe is going to be about this whole Fast and Furious bullshit. Barry, why don't you fill us in on it a little bit?
Well, I'm going to read you a little bit off the internet here. It's ATF gun walking scandal. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, ATF, ran a series of gun walking sting operations between 2006 and 2011. This was done under the umbrella of Project Gun Runner, a project intended to stem the flow of firearms into Mexico by indicting straw purchasers and gun traffickers within the United States. Gun walking, or letting guns walk, was a tactic whereby the ATF knowingly allowed thousands of guns to be bought by suspected arms traffickers or gun runners working through straw purchases on behalf of Mexican drug cartels. The stated goal of allowing these purchases was to continue to track firearms as they were transferred to higher level traffickers and key figures in Mexican cartels. In theory, leading to the arrest and dismantling of the cartels. The tactic was questioned during the operations by a number of people, including ATF field agents and cooperating licensed gun dealers. Operation Fast and Furious, by far the largest gun walking probe, led to the sale of over 2,000 firearms, of which nearly 700 were recovered as of October 20, 2011. A number of straw purchasers have been arrested and indicted. However, as of October 2011, none of the targeted high-level cartel figures have been arrested.
There are two things that they're wanting to accomplish, in my belief. Now, we're not really basing off factual documents per se. We're basing off our opinions on this whole matter. One of the things that they're wanting to accomplish with this, in my belief, is that one, they're wanting to draw out some of these high-end cartel people and bring them to light so they can arrest them, prosecute them, whatever. That I can understand. But two, there's a much more sinister plot developing with the Fast and Furious scandal that I think involves discussion. And I think one of the things that they're looking to do is to basically make your Second Amendment rights diminish. The way they can do that is by calling for stricter gun control, by claiming that these gangsters or whoever, these cartel members, are acquiring these firearms in an illegal manner from the United States. When, as far as my knowledge of the incident is concerned, the government actually sponsored and directed for these firearms to be sold knowingly to these people, knowing that they're not supposed to have them, knowing that they're basically dealing with terrorists, dealing with, these bad people that are out here committing all these nefarious activities. This whole plot did result in the death of a border agent. So right now they've got Eric Holder under all this scrutiny, and apparently from what I've been able to see in the media, Eric Holder has been pretty much accused of either spearheading or knowingly signing off on all of these things to be committed, and knowing about all these things happening and not doing anything about it. He's currently held in contempt with Congress, and right now one of the biggest fiascos in my mind is Obama using his presidential powers to withhold documents about the Fast and Furious scandal that could, in my belief, even incriminate President Obama and or Eric Holder and a number of other people.
Right. Well, you have to understand, anytime a law enforcement agency wants to do a sting, it doesn't matter if it's busting the motel next door or drug dealers down the street, they have to allow certain crimes to go on so they can try to find what I call the head of the snake. They have not arrested or done anything to the head of the snake in this thing, and a lot of people have died because of that. This operation, Fast and Furious, has gone on for too long. And too many people have been involved in it, and too many people have gotten killed. Civilians are being killed on the border with guns that the ATF let walk out of these gun dealers. And obviously here they agreed with licensed gun dealers to make straw sales.
In my opinion, the family members of that border agent that was killed should sue the federal government for every damn dime they're worth for that.
They have a legal right to do so.
There's no reason why any American should die as a result of this. We're the most powerful nation in the world, and I think it's crazy looking at all these armed Americans and our resolve in dealing with things, and how, despite all that, there's still people crossing our borders Why the hell are you people on the borders not firing at these people, shooting them, dealing with them? That's the thing that gets me. If I lived on the border and some brown man came running through my backyard that looks like he didn't belong there, I'm gonna fire some tracers at his ass. So why aren't people doing that?
They're not, they're afraid to. They're afraid of legal action being taken against them by the federal government.
That's bullshit.
It is bullshit, but that's what they're doing. And the people on the border, they can't tell me they can't close the border. That's bullshit. They can close the border. If they can find bin Laden and kill him, they can find these Mexican cartels and do something about it. Make no mistake about it, folks, there's no war on drugs. Forget that. And there's no war on terrorism either.
No.
If it was, we would be fighting a war. We're not fighting one.
Well, if it does, we'd win, because that's what we do.
That's right.
If the politicians step out of the way and let us fight like we're supposed to fight, we can win a war.
That's correct.
But when all the media and the politicians and news and all that crap gets in the way and policy gets in the way, you know, war is ugly.
Right.
And I mean, I know, I've been there and I've done it, I've seen it, and it's not pretty. Nobody likes to be over there involved in that stuff, but the bottom line is a lot of times our hands are tied on that sort of thing.
That is correct. And Eric's talking about a war across the big ocean. We're talking about a war that's right here on American soil.
Yeah, but policy's policy if it
Right,
stands
it is
in the way,
policy.
you know, way things are done, though.
But these criminals are running loose in Arizona and these other southern states, New Mexico and so on and so forth, and people are being killed on the border every day. And nothing is being done about it.
According to this Wikipedia article, now, bear in mind, I don't always trust Wikipedia articles, but they do say here that the Mexican government was never really given the full details as early as January of 2011. So this has been going on all that time, and the Mexican government had never been given complete details of the goings-ons of this whole thing.
And it looks like they never will get the complete details.
No.
None of us will ever know the complete details of it either.
Well, you know, if President Obama would hand over those documents and let us have a look, we might be able to get a little bit of an idea of who's involved.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, if there's some sort of something in there that implies that President Obama's directly involved in it, if he signed off on something, or if there's blood on his hands in any way, I think it would be the biggest fiasco in presidential history.
Well, one thing Eric and I failed to mention, if you look at some of the magazine articles or on the internet about some of these captured weapons, they are military weapons. They've got RPGs, grenades, and things like that you don't buy from an FFL dealer. These guys are trafficking in military weapons. Well, that's the gun gripe for this week.
That it is.
We'll check y'all next week.
Indeed.
Yeah.